At 8:24 p.m. on Saturday, April 25, 2026, a man sitting in a hotel room at the Washington Hilton opens his laptop and begins typing a message to his family. He already knows they will not read it in time. He has calculated this. He has calculated everything. The message is 1,052 words. He has titled himself the Friendly Federal Assassin. He has written rules of engagement. He has ranked his targets from highest ranking to lowest. He has selected buckshot over slugs because buckshot has less penetration through walls and he wants to, in his words, minimize casualties. He has pre-argued with himself in a section called Rebuttals to Objections, where he debates the morality of what he is about to do, playing both prosecutor and defense attorney in the trial inside his own head. He clicks send. The message goes to his family, to his friends. He waits. Not long, perhaps the time it takes to exhale twice. Then he stands. He picks up a 12-gauge Mossberg Maverick 88 pump-action shotgun. He picks up a .38 caliber Armscor precision semi-automatic handgun. He straps multiple knives to his body. He has purchased these firearms legally, the pistol in October 2023, the shotgun sometime in the 2 years before tonight. He has trained at a shooting range. He has rehearsed this in his mind for weeks, possibly months. He opens the hotel room door. He steps into the corridor. He is 10 minutes away from the President of the United States. Here is what is happening 400 feet below him, inside the Grand Ballroom. 2,600 people are seated at round tables draped in white linen. They are journalists, politicians, cabinet secretaries, military officials, media executives, and celebrities. They are eating dinner. A mentalist named Oz Perlman is on stage performing a trick for the man seated at the center of the head table. That man is Donald Trump, the 47th President of the United States. To his left, First Lady Melania Trump.
Around the room, Vice President J.D. Vance, FBI Director Kash Patel, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, UFC CEO Dana White, 500 journalists who cover the White House, 2,000 guests who paid to be here. It is the annual White House Correspondents Association dinner, a celebration of the First Amendment, a night where the president sits with the press and pretends for one evening that they are not at war with each other. Trump has never attended one of these during either of his terms. Tonight, for reasons known only to him, he decided to show up. This is the single highest concentration of American federal power in one room outside the White House itself. The president, the vice president, the cabinet, the FBI director, the attorney general, the press secretary, all seated within 100 feet of each other inside a commercial hotel ballroom on Connecticut Avenue. And the man with a shotgun is walking toward them through the corridors of the same hotel. The Washington Hilton is not a military facility. It is a functioning commercial hotel. It has a lobby open to the public, restaurants, guest rooms, conference spaces. The Secret Service secured the ballroom and its immediate approaches, metal detectors, screening checkpoints, armed agents. But the rest of the hotel stayed open. Guests checked in and out. Housekeeping moved through hallways. The lobby never closed. Cole Thomas Allen did not need to breach the building. He checked into the building. He was a guest. He had a room key, a reservation, and a bag full of weapons that nobody searched, nobody questioned, and nobody scanned. He had arrived the day before, Friday, and spent the night inside the security perimeter that was supposed to protect the leader of the free world. He had traveled 3,000 miles to be here, not by plane. Planes have security. He took Amtrak. The Southwest Chief from Los Angeles to Chicago, then the Floridian from Chicago to Washington. 2 trains, 2 days, carrying a shotgun, a handgun, and knives across the width of America in his luggage. Nobody checked, nobody asked. In his manifesto, he mocked the security with the bluntness of a man who has already decided he will not survive to face consequences. I expected security cameras at every bend, bugged hotel rooms, armed agents every 10 feet, metal detectors out the wazoo.
What I got is nothing. No damn security. Not in transport, not in the hotel, not in the event. He was not delusional, he was observational, and that is worse. I walk in with multiple weapons and not a single person there considers the possibility that I could be a threat. He adds, if I was an Iranian agent instead of an American citizen, I could have brought a damn Madus in here and no one would have noticed. A Madus is a Browning M2, a .50 caliber heavy machine gun that weighs 84 pounds. Now he is moving through the hotel, down the corridor, into the elevator or stairwell, toward the ballroom level. He knows where the screening checkpoint is. He has studied the layout. He has watched the security patterns. He knows the metal detectors are the last line, the final barrier between the public hotel and 2,600 people, including the president. His plan is not sophisticated. It is brutally simple. Sprint past the checkpoint, fire, keep moving forward, reach the ballroom, target administration officials ranked highest to lowest. Secret Service agents are targets only if necessary. Hotel employees and guests are not targets at all. He has written this down. He has organized assassination by priority level, like a to-do list. 8:34 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. He reaches the main magnetometer screening area. Armed Secret Service agents, metal detectors, the last door. He runs. He sprints directly at the checkpoint. He raises the Mossberg. He fires. The first blast hits a Secret Service agent at close range, center mass. The 12-gauge buckshot slams into the agent's ballistic vest. The vest holds. The agent staggers but does not fall. Allen keeps moving. He fires again and again. At least 6 shots echo through the corridor in rapid succession, the pump action cycling with mechanical rhythm. CNN anchor Wolf Blitzer is standing just outside the ballroom, feet away. He will later say he was a few feet away from the shooter. He sees the weapon. He hears every shot. He counts them. He describes it as a very serious weapon. Officers grab Blitzer and throw him into a nearby restroom. Inside the ballroom, 2,600 people hear the sound. It hits different when you are dressed in black tie and holding a glass of wine, and the last thing you expected tonight was the sound of a shotgun. Some think a tray dropped, some think it is part of the entertainment. Then the Secret Service agents inside the ballroom start screaming. Shots fired! 10 seconds. That is the window. 10 seconds between the first gunshot and the moment a wall of agents engulfs Donald Trump on the stage. Armed guards in full tactical gear, rifles, vests, helmets, materialize on the dais as if they have been standing behind the curtain the entire time. Because they have. Trump is surrounded. Melania is grabbed. Vance is pulled from his seat and moved toward the secure exit. Leavitt is directed away. Cabinet members are seized and channeled toward holding areas inside the hotel. 2,600 people do what humans do when gunfire erupts in an enclosed space. Some dive under tables, some freeze, some film on their phones. Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica, is escorted out in tears. Dana White, the UFC CEO, later tells reporters he ignored commands to get down. Dan Scavino tries to start a USA chant as Trump is evacuated. Nobody joins. The room is not in the mood for chants. The room is in the mood for exits. Trump is rushed off the stage. He stumbles. He falls briefly. Agents catch him, lift him, and keep moving. The footage, captured on security cameras and later posted by Trump himself on Truth Social, shows a 78-year-old man in a tuxedo being half-carried through a doorway by men with automatic weapons. And outside the ballroom, in the corridor, Cole Thomas Allen is on the ground. He never made it inside. The Secret Service stopped him approximately 10 to 15 feet beyond the metal detectors. He broke the perimeter. He got past the machines. But the men behind the machines were faster. They tackled him with enough force to shatter his knee. Trump posted the photograph later that night. Allen, face down, shirtless, wrists bound, surrounded by agents in suits and tactical gear. the tile floor of a hotel corridor that looks like any other hotel corridor in any other city, except for the shotgun shells, the blood, and the President of the United States being carried away in the background. This is the same hotel where John Hinckley Jr. shot Ronald Reagan on March 30th, 1981. Same building, same entrance area, 45 years apart. Reagan took a ricocheted .22 caliber bullet under his left arm. It stopped less than an inch from his heart. His press secretary, James Brady, was shot in the head and permanently disabled. Reagan nearly died on the operating table. 45 years later, same hotel, different president, different weapon, same corridor between a normal evening and a national catastrophe. The Associated Press headlined the next morning, "Sound of gunfire carries eerie echoes of Reagan's shooting outside the same Washington hotel." Who was this man? Cole Thomas Allen, 31 years old, born April 11, 1995, in Torrance, California, a quiet coastal city south of Los Angeles. Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering from the California Institute of Technology, acceptance rate 2.3%, one of the most elite STEM institutions in the world. Master of Science in Computer Science from California State University, Dominguez Hills. Part-time teacher at C2 Education, a tutoring center. Amateur video game developer. Member of his church's Christian Fellowship, named Teacher of the Month in December 2024. Half black, half white, no criminal record, not on any law enforcement radar, not on any watch list, not known to the FBI, the Secret Service, or any intelligence agency. His family told investigators he had been making radical statements and constantly referenced a plan to do something to fix the issues with today's world. He was part of a group called the Wide Awakes. He attended No Kings protests in California. He went to a shooting range regularly to train with his legally purchased firearms. His sister told Secret Service agents that her brother's thinking revolved around politics, Christians, misandry, and racism. His brother, living in New London, Connecticut, received the manifesto by email around 10 p.m., nearly 90 minutes after the shooting. He thought it was spam. Then he turned on the television. Then he drove to the police station. The manifesto begins with apologies to his parents for saying I had an interview without specifying it was for Most Wanted, to his students for saying I had a personal emergency, to the strangers on the train for putting them in danger simply by being near. Then it pivots. I am a citizen of the United States of America. What my representatives do reflects on me, and I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. He never names Trump directly. The manifesto ends with thank yous. To his family for your love over these 31 years. To his students for your enthusiasm and love of learning. To his friends for your companionship. Then, sincerely, Cold Force, friendly federal assassin, Allen. He signed his own assassination attempt like a letter to a pen pal. At 9:45 p.m., Trump departed the Washington Hilton for the White House. At approximately 10:15 p.m., still wearing his tuxedo, he walked into the White House briefing room and held a press conference. He called the agent who took the shotgun blast brave. He said the vest did the job. He said he had spoken to the officer personally and the man was in great shape. He called Allen a sick person, a very sick person. Then he said, "We are not gonna let anybody take over our society. We are not gonna cancel things out." He said the dinner would be rescheduled within 30 days. The next day, Nora O'Donnell of CBS read Trump the manifesto's description of him, a pedophile, rapist, and traitor. Trump responded, "Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist.
I didn't rape anybody." O'Donnell paused.
Oh, do you think he was referring to you? This was the third assassination attempt on Donald Trump in 21 months. Butler, Pennsylvania, July 2024. A 20-year-old on a rooftop with an AR-15 put a bullet through his ear and killed a bystander in the crowd. West Palm Beach, Florida, September 2024. A 58-year-old with a rifle hid in the bushes along his golf course for weeks before being spotted by an agent. He's now serving life in prison. And now, Washington, D.C., April 2026. A 31-year-old teacher with a shotgun, a handgun, a manifesto, and a hotel room key who got within 15 feet of the ballroom where the president was sitting. 3 men, 3 states, 3 weapons, 3 motives, 21 months. And every single time, by the width of a turned head, by the thickness of Kevlar, by the reflexes of agents trained to move in the direction that every human instinct says to run from, the same outcome. He walked out. In Torrance, California, FBI agents in armored vehicles spent that Saturday night tearing through a house on Gramercy Avenue where neighbors described the family as nothing special, just normal. Helicopters circled until past midnight. A neighbor named Bora told reporters she used to wave at them. Somewhere inside that house, weeks or months before, a man had packed a bag. He had placed a shotgun inside, a handgun, and knives. He had booked a train ticket. He had booked a hotel room. He had written a manifesto. He had ranked human beings by priority of death. He had trained at a shooting range. He had said goodbye without anyone knowing it was goodbye. And then he had walked into a hotel, checked into his room, eaten, slept, and waited for the President of the United States to sit down to dinner. No algorithm caught him, no watch list flagged him, no tip line rang, no AI model predicted him. A man with a Caltech degree, a teaching award, and a church membership decided that the distance between moral outrage and a loaded shotgun was a distance he was willing to cross. And nothing in the architecture of American security, not Amtrak, not the hotel, not the Secret Service, saw him coming. That is not a security failure. That is the condition of a country where the tools of violence are available to everyone, and the distance between a citizen and a president can be closed by anyone willing to buy a train ticket and a room key. The Washington Hilton reopened the next morning. The ballroom was cleaned. The police tape came down. King Charles III arrived for his state visit the following day, and somewhere in an evidence room, a 12-gauge Mossberg Maverick 88 sits in a plastic bag next to a .38 caliber handgun, next to a stack of knives, next to a printout of a 1,052-word document signed by a man who called himself friendly.